Marshall Plan speech. I want all of you to open StudySync. Go to Unit 5. Then the Marshall Plan speech. Does it appear for all of you? Okay, perfect. Before we start the lesson, let me just give you an overview of it. So the Marshall Plan speech is a speech text or a script for a speech that was really given in 1947. So our literature lesson today is a script of a speech. In 1947, Europe was reeling from the devastation of World War II. And we all know how would a country look like after any war. The government was not able to rebuild the roads or the bridges or the factories. People were sick and starving. And tension between other countries were rising during that period of time. So we had some people trying to interfere and help those countries who were ruined after World War II. We have somebody called Secretary of State George Marshall. He was a retired 5-star general appointed to his position by President Truman. He delivered a brief speech at Harvard University that would have an enormous impact on Europe's recovery. So we have Sir George Marshall, and that would refer to the title. The title is called The Marshall's Plan. So it is related to George Marshall, who gave this speech to a highly educated group of people at Harvard University. What was he trying to do? He was trying to help the European countries to recover after the destruction that happened during and after World War II. Together, we are going to find out about his plan, and it's really important to know whether this plan was successful or not. You will not find that mentioned in the lesson, but I would ask you to search and find an answer for this issue. So the Marshall Plan is a speech, a plan given by George Marshall in order to help European countries. This is the script of the speech. Introduction, body parts, and then conclusion. Since it is a speech, you will find a lot of devices, techniques that would be used by speakers in order to attract the attention of the audience. It's not a story. It is a speech with specific devices. The speech is divided, as you see, in introduction, 1 body, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 body paragraphs, and then a conclusion. We are going to study the following. We are going to study this speech. We're going to study the devices that the speaker had used in order to attract the attention of the audience. Since it's a plan, we can tell that there are procedures or steps, or there is a process that people need to follow in order to achieve what he wanted, or in order to achieve his purpose from this speech. You are going to find out that. One more time, this is a speech by George Marshall given to help European countries to rehabilitate, to rebuild its infrastructure, economy, and all the areas that need any improvement after World War II. We're going to dig deeper together in the script. You need to find out the devices that were used in order to attract the attention of the audience. You need to know how the problem was tackled. How did George Marshall explain it to the people? Then you need to find out the process or the steps or the procedures that people needed to do in order to help those countries. By the end, you have a conclusion. You need to find out whether it was memorable for you or no. And then after this analysis, you're going to find out through research whether his plan was successful or not.